upon the fears of America, talking about
That's
homophobic slurs, talking
really
about racial slurs. And now he wants to put forth in front of the jury, because the brother did not say he was in a romantic relationship with Jussie Smollett. He wants to be the one, you know what, we were in a romantic relationship. He doesn't want to come out and say it. I'm saying it. And you should judge his credibility based on him not coming out. This is why he came up with this story, and it was not a hoax.
What about the cross, Paul? Because that will continue this morning. Prosecution gets another chance with Jussie Smollett today. Have they done enough so far? What more do they need to do? It's been clinical, the cross, more than in their high-impact emotion.
Yeah, it has. It'll be very interesting to see what happens today, because there are little nuggets that come out constantly with each new question. There are things probably we don't even know about that we may hear today. But I think when I step back and I look at this, I think the thing that's going to do him in more than anything else is likely to be the noose around the neck. Because remember, when the crime was first reported, he reported that he was assaulted. And when he came to, he had been knocked to the ground. He had a noose around his neck. He went home. And the interesting thing is that after he called the police,
who does that?
He put the noose back around his neck again.
Yeah, now, who does that?
For most people, you would think a noose around your neck would be a traumatic, very fearful thing. But for Jussie Smollett, he's an actor, and he's putting it back on before the cops arrive. I think that is a real hole in his credibility that the jury's going to look at carefully, regardless of what happens today in cross-examination.
He said when he took it off and someone said, don't tamper with evidence, so he put it back on.
Put it back on.
Yeah. It's hard to follow, but we'll see what the jury pays attention to and what they pick up on. Bernarda, Paul, thank you both very much. It was great to see you.
Okay.
Thank you,
John.
There's one more thing. One more thing.
Well, Jussie Smollett is back on the stand right now in his own defense at the trial.
You know, I'm not even going to give Fox News an opportunity to spin a narrative on my platform. Because, of course, you know, they always take things personal between Fox News and MSNBC and Fox News and CNN. If you ever watched like evening news, 6, 7, 8 o'clock hour, that's one of my favorite things to do. Actually, I know I'm a geek. I know I'm a nerd, but I do enjoy watching MSNBC and CNN between the hours of 6 and 10 each day. I really enjoy watching Rachel Maddow and all these different, you know, these personalities or whatever. But there was a man named Keith Olbermann that used to anchor was it the 8 o'clock spot? I think it was the 8 o'clock spot on MSNBC. Rachel Maddow, that's how I even found out when Rachel Maddow first came out. She was a Keith Olbermann, whatever you want to call it. Her and Keith Olbermann had this really interesting relationship with each other. And she started opening up. Or she would open up and do like I think it was the 7 to 8 hour, and then she'd hand the show off to Keith Olbermann from 8 to 9 or 8 to 10. And he used to always do these little segments where he would clown on Bill O'Reilly over there at Fox News. And they just sort of had like this banter back and forth where Bill O'Reilly, who was later fired, right, for sexual harassment and all sorts of weird ass shit. But man, Bill O'Reilly had been walking around doing the people at Fox News any old kind of way. I heard at one point he was the highest paid news anchor at one point in night television. But there's always this little banter that goes back and forth between Fox and MSNBC and Fox and CNN. It used to be almost considered unbecoming for a news agency to actually even devote any time to sort of try to attack another news anchor's character. But the banter that goes back and forth between these guys gets really funny. But needless to say, they are trying to push out this narrative that Don Lemon has some sort of personal relationship with Jussie Smollett and Jussie Smollett's team. And they're trying to say that Don Lemon isn't reporting on the case accurately. But again, it is not Fox News, but fixed news.
You are streaming live now from Fox, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday morning. My name is Regina. With you live from Orlando, Florida. As promised, we are keeping an eye on several courtrooms throughout the nation on this Wednesday. And if you were just tuning in before that quick 2-minute commercial break, we were touching base with our Fox 32 Chicago team live as they brought us the latest on the Jussie Smollett trial. But if you're just tuning into our coverage, closing arguments are expected today. The former Empire actor has taken the stand in his own defense for the last several days, and the defense officially rested their case yesterday. So let's get the latest from Fox News correspondent Matt Finn. He has been inside of the courtroom where cameras have not been allowed and is telling us what the actor had to say on the stand. Let's listen in.
The fate of Jussie Smollett will soon be in the hands of a jury. The defense resting its case Tuesday after Smollett took the stand for a second day. The 39-year-old repeatedly claiming he was the victim of a homophobic and racially motivated violent crime, not the mastermind of an elaborate hoax.
Thank you for being respectful, y'all. Appreciate it.
The former Empire actor denying he took the Osundaro brothers on a dry run of the hate attacks 2 days before the incident, but the prosecution trying to prove otherwise during cross-examination, reading private Instagram messages between Bola Osundaro and Smollett, in which the actor shared his whereabouts, including the flight delay details on the night of the January 29th attack. Smollett saying he did not orchestrate the alleged 2019 hate crime, despite testimony by the Osundaro brothers claiming he planned the entire thing and paid them $3,500 to carry it out. The actor said the accusations are 100% false, calling the brothers liars. The defense saying the brothers attempted to extort $1 million from Smollett in exchange for telling authorities the attack was not planned. Smollett telling the jury the alleged extortion was made through his attorneys, not directly to him.
Jussie is the victim of a ruthless character assassination and disinformation campaign carried out by the Chicago Police Department.
It almost sounds like he's been listening to me talking about disinformation campaigns and shit and how you can successfully launch a disinformation campaign. No, it's crazy. That's crazy.
Hurt him deeply.
Smollett is charged with 6 felony counts of lying to police. He's facing up to 3 years in prison if convicted. Closing arguments in this case are expected to begin on Wednesday in Chicago. Matt Finn, Fox News.
Y'all.
Well, Jussie Smollett is back on the stand right now in his own defense at the trial where he...
Listen, I want y'all to peep game to this shit, okay? Peep game. There's been this really strange thing that the Aussies do. Australia, Sky News, based out of Australia, they have been extremely critical of Biden, of the Democratic government and the leaders in the Democratic Party here in the United States. And if you really, this should tell you a lot. This should really tell you a lot. If you see Sky News, okay, their official YouTube channel with a Fox News clip on it. Wow. This is Sky News, but they're showing Fox News channel content. That is interesting. That is really interesting to me. And now it makes sense on why they're always so critical of the United States in a lot of different ways, from a political governmental standpoint. They were somewhat critical of Trump, but I remember when the C-19 first started trickling around the world, the Sky News in particular, Australia, was very critical of the Chinese, how the Chinese handled that. A lot of talk about the Wuhan Institutional of Virology. It's just interesting. I don't know what the politics are in Australia, like how that works compared to our political system. But just take note of that, right? That's crazy.
He's accused of staging a fake hate crime. And while the Empire actor denied orchestrating the attack, he did make a shocking claim about CNN's Don Lemon, testifying that Lemon contacted him via text early in the investigation and gave him a heads up that police were not buying his story.
I'm almost really glad that Don Lemon would have reached out to Jussie, though. I mean, Jussie was a fresh face, right? And John Lemon's been doing this for a long time. He's a gay man. He's a Black gay man. He has one of the most prestigious news anchor positions in America, if not the lead news anchor position in nightly news. It's crazy. But if I was Don Lemon, I wouldn't address it either. Don Lemon doesn't have any sort of legal requirements. Plus, he's a lawyer.
Jussie Smollett, the actor who is accused of lying to police about an alleged hate crime in 2019, testifying in his own defense today. At the time, Smollett told police that two men had attacked him in the street, yelling racist, anti-gay remarks, put a noose around his neck, and poured bleach on him. Smollett has repeatedly denied staging a racist and homophobic attack against himself. He is charged with 6 counts of disorderly conduct on suspicion of making false reports to police.
January 2019. It's about to be January 2022. You know? It's crazy. But you know, a lot of those people in that show, in that Empire show, have some bad luck. I mean, my God, I just found out that the main character, his fine ass, ain't really packing like I would have hoped. Oh my God. Ah! Wait. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh, wait. Terrence Howard. Fine as hell. Very, very nice. Nice looking man. Very nice looking man. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But there's some crazy rumors that follow Mr. Howard. But hey, but then, of course, I have to blame, Sean Bradley and his team over there for dashing my hopes and killing my dreams. They dashed my hope and killed my dreams, the fantasies that I had of this man. It's just not right. It's just not fucking right. It's hard out here for a pimp. Ooh, 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 ooh. Such lusciousness. Such lusciousness. Look at that smile. Look at that sexy ass smile, y'all. Just luscious. but maybe he fucks with Asian women for a reason. Oh my God. Oh, excuse me. Just smoking on a blunt, you know. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I had heard about this video, photo, something. I don't even remember what it was. It was, I don't know if it was a movie, a commercial. But OMG, when I seen it, I was like, no. It's like a little baby. It's like a little baby. Yeah. Yeah. There's a photo. If you search for Terrence Howard naked. Terrence Howard, Naked, naked. He looks great from the back. Yeah, I'm not here to talk about that man's. Damn, he's so fine, though. Okay. Enough. I think that us women, we definitely have like a type. I know I have a type. You cannot be fat. You cannot be overweight. Yeah, like I do definitely have a type for sure. But you got to be able to lay some pipe too. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to lay some pipe. Okay, let me get on up off that subject because it's getting a little bit uncomfortable. Just a little bit. Just a touch. Just a touch. Ooh. Okay. I'm trying. It's really hard. It's really hard. I don't think you understand, Third Eye. I was devastated. Okay. It was absolutely devastating for me. It was a life-changing experience for me. So, okay. I just got one last thing. There is this, look at you. There is this video that I've been trying to find. There's a woman. She's out in her backyard, right? She's out in her backyard. And I don't know what she was. I don't know if she turned the video recorder on when she noticed the lights or if she was recording something else when these lights happened. But she managed to get a video of a UFO. Okay. Yeah, we're going back into the UFO alien topic. Okay. But this video is really interesting to me because it appears to be like some little 3-foot creature that seemed to be almost like guarding whatever craft this is that seemed to have literally landed maybe 100, 150 feet from her back porch into a field. She had a field in her backyard. This craft lands. These creatures walk out. You can see them, and they're literally looking at her almost like they're trying to, they've got their back to whatever this craft is or whatnot. But it's so crazy because the more and more research that I do on this shit, and the more I sort of dig into some of the specifics around like the makings of a vehicle like this, like how would you actually make something like this, right? The science behind it. I'm kind of a little bit of a nerd, so I'm a little bit interested in that sort of a thing. What the propulsion system is made of. Is it nuclear energy? Is it Is that why, there's always reports of some of these creatures looking like they're sick as hell from radiation sickness, all gray, nasty looking, no hair, who knows? But apparently they somehow have made a propulsion system that is somehow using magnetism and electricity, positive and negative energy. And they somehow have the ability to make these vehicles or these crafts. It's like they just pull themselves through the Earth's atmosphere. It's like they say, okay, I'm going to punch in some coordinates. I want to go to Brisbane and I want to, go to this location. And it's like, boom, they're gone, right? It's kind of very interesting. If you actually listen to Bob Lazar's description of these crafts that he researched at S4 at Groom Lake in Area 51, he sort of talks about this propulsion system and this element 119 that we've talked about before over here on this channel, right? I have the video. Yes, I discovered the video a month or two ago and bookmarked it just so I could come up on this bitch and show you guys. And so I'm about to try to find it now. Give me a sec, because I was actually looking in my, what the hell? I was actually looking in my bookmarks, and I think I might have bookmarked it under another account. So if you give me just a second here. Okay. Just a second. I want to show y'all this. It's really interesting. The video is. It's really interesting. And I don't think I need the Crimes and Justice stream to continue going at this point. We're done talking about Jussie Smollett. So shout out to those of you out there on the Crimes and Investigations channel. I will catch you guys in the next Crimes and Justice stream.